that you want to make women beautiful because you believe that, I mean, around us in our society, there's a lot of women that come from very abusive backgrounds, and maybe that thing on the inside of you is birth, and that's where you become passionate. And what's your message? So when you find that message on the inside of you, and you find that desire, and you know what that is, and relentlessly go after that, you will become successful. You will become successful. So that's really what my business is about. It's getting you prepared for entrepreneurship. Becoming socially engaged in your community. What can I do in my community? So I don't have to wait for somebody to fund my dream. I'm going to take my skill and make my dream. That's what a social entrepreneur does. We're responsible for other people's well-being as well as ourselves. And so how do we become socially engaged? What can I do to make my community a better place? And it starts here. It doesn't have to start out there. And when we start here, we will go global. We will go, but we can start here. And how do we network with the people within, using opportunities to network with other business people within your community? Become aware of what goes on in your community, because it's those problems that are in your community that's you're going to bring the solutions. You are the next leaders. You are the next generation that's going to come with the solutions. If you look at our country right now, we're in junk status, but you are the answer. The answer's on the inside of you. And so I want to stir that up on the inside of you and believe in yourself and believe that you are destined for a time such as this. So that is my business. And so the website is www.bydivinedesign.com. And you can sign up there, and we can take this conversation further. And then, yes, there are, for the first 10 people that sign up, it is a free program. And then I will engage with you, and we can run a workshop, depending on the amount of interest there is. And then we'll run a workshop, and then, yeah, that's me, and that's my business.
Fantastic. Thank you, Carmen. So, don't forget. No, come here. I know I don't know you. I'm sorry, but now I know you. Okay. So, you heard about Carmen. Have we all got the website address?
So it's www.bydivinedesign.co.za.
So, bydivinedesign.co.za. Okay. And the first 10 get a free program?
Yes.
What is the normal cost, if I may ask? Is there a cost to the program?
No,
there's
not
no
yet.
cost? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So 10 of you can get in free of charge. And then also just, because I see that some of you, I know this feeling of being in school and you don't want to be the one to ask the question that you think is stupid. So I can see that you're sitting, and some of you, I can see the questions on your face. We are going to take a break in a couple of minutes, and then all of our speakers are here, so you can go and engage with them individually and just get the information that you need. And then also, we are streaming live. We're streaming live right now, yes? We're on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. So now you must put your nice face on, put your smile on. Yeah. So that the people of the internet can see you. All right. Carmen, any questions for Carmen? Have you guys got any questions? Anything you want to know? I can see the questions. You've got a question there? Okay. Let's go to children first.
You said you were doing imports and exports.
Yes.
Is that part of logistics?
There is logistics involved, yes there is, but imports and exports from a operations perspective. So I worked in the bank, and we looked after the transactional side of things, not the actual logistics. But yes, it does have a lot of logistics involvement.
Who had a question? Okay, I'm coming to you, sorry.
As a woman in the industry, what difficulties do you come across, and how do you overcome it?
I think the one thing that we always tend to do is, like when Nicholas mentioned, you look very professional. Already we kind of, when you walk into an environment, you kind of have a perception of who those people are, and you feel intimidated. I think one of the barriers for me is that I always felt intimidated. I always felt that you don't have something to contribute. But yet people, sometimes we're so stuck in our industry and you might just be their answer, you know? So it's believing that you have a valuable contribution to make. It's like someone that looks at numbers all the time and they don't see the problem. You might just be their answer. So I believe that no matter what you're facing, be resilient. And again, believe that you are there for a time such as that. And yeah, just make a contribution. Whether you believe I believe it's meaningful, whether it's not meaningful, may seem stupid to you, but that just may be the answer that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, ne? So does your okay, does your business offer any learnerships?
No, but I do work with a company called 21st Century Skills, and they do offer learnerships. So if you are interested in a learnership, you can gladly sign on to their website. It's www.21stcenturyskills.co.za. So it's 21ST.
21st century 21ST skills.
Yes, Century Skills.
Century.
.co.za.
Yeah, 21st century skills. Cool. Any more questions? Anybody else? This side? CJP? Away? Nothing? Okay. Cool. Is that it? Ladies and gents, give a massive round of applause for Carmen. Okay, so as you can hear, it all comes back to the same thing that we've been preaching. It's about belief. Okay, so keep believing in yourselves and keep doing the thing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call up a young man who's he used to be the youngest comedian in the country, but then unfortunately because of birthdays and younger children coming in, now he's not the youngest, but he's one of the coolest, most passionate young men I've met. He started out in comedy with us and he is growing in leaps and bounds. So I want you to show him some respect. He's slightly older than you guys, slightly, possibly even some of your age. So put your hands together and make some noise. Give it up for Punch Gazela! So what's going to happen is I'm going to stay up here with Punch and we're going to have a discussion about comedy. Let's welcome Punch to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think what we want to do is basically let's start off. Can you tell us what drove you to comedy? What made you believe that you are funny, and what pushed you? How did you get into the industry?
For me, in terms of comedy, really, what happened is I found out that I can talk a lot of kake, and I'm just good at it. That's what people told me. So when people keep telling you that you're good at something and telling you to get on stages like the Goliath Comedy Club, which he owns, so sometimes I work for him, really. You eventually decide to do it, and that's how I got into comedy, just jumping on stages, performing, and yeah.
Yeah. So, and as I explained, so Punch, he's still in an open spot for now. And an open spot, basically what that means is somebody that's still trying to prove themselves in the industry. They still got to work, they still got to show us that they are funny before people start giving them money. So that comes back to, as I was saying, when you do something that you believe in, it's easier to give 100%. And that's what he's doing. He performed on we had a festival last week, and the next comedy show, which is the guys that are open spots but are on the way to making their first paycheck. In fact, I need your banking details because we're paying Punch for the first time. So give him a round of applause for making his first money in comedy. Yeah. And then just, I think what these people need to know is just sort of what drives you, what makes you believe that you are funny, first of all, and what are the things that you've had to do that people don't see? Because what people see, people look at me, they see me from Comedy Central, you've seen me on SABC, you see me own a comedy club, and people think that's comedy, that you're going to go in and you're just going to make money and it's going to be amazing. But it's 6 years worth of work that's gone into that. So I think just an explanation of what pushes you and what drives you and how to actually do the thing.
For me, Jason actually explained it. Jason Goliath, I don't know if you guys know him, Nicholas's brother. He explained it to me the best. He said, most comedians, especially any artist, who do stage work. It's about that moment. They can tell you they do it for the money or whatnot, but really it's about that moment where you just did your whole performance and everyone's just looking at you. And sometimes they stand up, but they're just clapping, and you can see the appreciation of the work that you just did, and they're just all losing their minds, like, oh my God, that guy, eh? You know, because that moment, that's the one where you actually like, wow, this is worth doing it for. So no matter how much money you're making, I feel like that moment never loses the value that it has. You know?
No, for sure. So Punch, like I said, open spot. He's had that moment. He hasn't been paid yet. He hasn't been paid, but he's still out there. He's still doing the thing. Yeah. And that's what we've got to focus on. We've got to focus on the drive. You know, it's every day you've got to get up and you've got to fight to get what you want. Nobody's going to give it to you. You've got to get up and do it. And Punch is the perfect example. I mean, you matriculated in?
Last year.
Last year. Punch has been performing since he was 16 years old. Since he was 16 years old, he used to come and ask me for open spots on a Sunday night at a gig we run in Maboneng. And I said, Patak, tell me when it's school holidays, then you can come and perform. Because at the end of the day, your education is the most important thing. Like, for me, what I've realized is I went through a stage where I actually wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to study accounting. And I didn't do it because I just also was lazy to study. But the thing is that had I studied accounting, I'd have so much of a better understanding of my business and how the business runs and the financial side. So, like Tebogo was saying, you've got to, sort of do something that's in line with what you really want to do. But at the end of the day, you've also got to remember, like, accounting has nothing to do with comedy, but I need it because now I run a business and I need to understand accounting. Same with marketing. I didn't need to know marketing, but now I need to know marketing because I need to market my business. So you've also got to think about those little aspects. And when it comes to what you want to do, don't just focus on, I want to be a sound guy. I need premises and I need pliers and I need insulation tape. No, you also need to be able to control your stock. You need to be able to handle your staff. You need to understand HR. You need to understand a million different things. So that for me is the most important, is that you can't just focus on what you want. Focus on the whole idea and everything that you want. Is there what else you want to tell these people? Tell them about Punch. Tell them about Punch. Let's hear about you. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
For me, really, I'm in a learning process. Like Tebogo was saying, that it's good for you to go and you ask people if you need anything, and you ask and you learn networking, basically, that you call it. Networking. So like, if there's something that you don't understand, I feel like it's easy to go and you ask people, and when they tell you, you have that extra information that you can go use. Whether your set wasn't that good, then you can go and add that on, or whatever it is, like you're just learning from people. Like for one thing, that how when Nick started, he came and he was like away. You know how he did that, and he came and he was like away. I used to not understand that, for example, right? So I actually asked him, like, we're at the K.Y.C Comedy Club, and I went to Nick. I asked him why he does that. I actually asked him what away means, because at the time I didn't know what it meant, and he actually explained it to me. He was like, you see, like, Punch, what you need to understand, away. When I say that, I want the audience to engage with me, right? And then I also asked, is it like a greeting, and what it is? And he was like, well, as a word, away is something completely different. And it's a word that you can use to replace words, sentences, and full conversations. You know? And I was also confused. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, bruh, I could walk in here, and I come to you, Punch. I say away, which means hello. Then you say away, which means hello, how you doing? Then you say, ne, I'm away, which means ne, I'm fine. Right? And then he was like, maybe let's say you're eating some chips, ne, Punch, you're eating some chips. So I say, bruh, can you please give me some chips? Then you say, away, which means you can have. And you take the chips, you say what? Away, which means thank you, right? So then you eat the chips, you say, no, man, this chips is away, which means this chips is muskak. Then I say, away, which means I know, that's why I buy them. So it's that learning process, you understand what I'm saying?
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So, yeah, so that's exactly it. Just get as much information as. Can we give Punch a round of applause? Thank you. Nice, man. Nice. This is a guy that matriculated last year. He's doing great things in comedy. And I just see him growing from strength to strength. And it makes me happy because I wish that I knew at 16 years old that I want to be a comedian. If I'd started at that time, I don't even know where I'd be now. So for me, I want to see you in 10 years because I just see great things. And for you, take a note out of this guy's book and find your passion. The sooner you find it, the sooner you can get onto it. Like Tebogo was saying, the more you practice your passion, the better you will get. There's a book by a guy called Malcolm Gladwell. It's called Outliers. That book, they talk about the 10,000 hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule simply means that if you do anything consistently for 10,000 hours, you will become a master of that thing. So if you think about it, whatever it is, if you do 10,000 hours of hair, there will be no one that can touch you when it comes to doing hair. If you install sound for 10,000 hours, you will be able to install sound with your eyes closed and one hand tied behind your back. So take the time, think about your passion. I know it's something that's very difficult to try and deal with at your age right now. You've got so much to deal with. What are you going to do next year? Are you studying? Are you not studying? If you are studying, what are you studying? But take that time, sit by yourself, and just ask yourself the questions. Like they were saying, ask yourself the questions. Who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? And then the most important question that you've got to ask is, what do I need to do to be where I want to be? So start with, like with any journey. If you're going to Durban, you know you need a car. In that car, you need petrol, you need snacks, you need all of that thing. If you've got a car and you've got the petrol and you've got the snacks, but you don't have a GPS, you're going to end up in Bloemfontein looking for the beach forever. It's going to take forever. So find a GPS for your life. See where you want to go and then work the steps back so that you know that the first step you take is a step in the right direction. Cool? Yes, 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 yes. We're winning. Ladies and gents, give a round of applause. Do you have any questions? Do we have any questions for Punch? You got a question for Punch? I feel like, are you single, Punch? I feel like, is that...
Okay, my question is, have you ever found yourself in a situation whereby maybe you were on a stage doing your job, which is like comedy, and you were busy making jokes and nobody laughed? And if yes, what did you do to deal with the situation? Thank you.
I have, and it's a very awkward situation because then you're just looking at everyone and Nick is over there and you're like, but the thing is, and you learn this from comedy. Just because you just fell doesn't mean you can't get back up. So like whenever that happens, what you immediately do is you carry on to the next joke and you hope that that's funnier. And you gotta, what Nick always says is trust you're funny. Trust you're funny. More than your jokes, trust the fact that you're funny when you get on stage. So maybe if you're a hairstylist or whatnot and someone just asks for a haircut that you've never done before, right? Now there you've got to trust your talent. Maybe you Googled it and whatnot and you see how it's supposed to be done. Then you got to trust the fact that you could actually do it, right? So that's how you keep going in the actual thing. And I'm sorry that we keep using you as our example. You shouldn't have told Nick what you want to do.
Yeah, and also, so like the thing for me, because it happens to everyone, and every comedian, every interview is ever done, someone says, yeah, what do you do if you tell your joke and nobody laughs? And the thing is, in the beginning, so like Punch says, you move on to the next joke. But what I've learned with experience is that the audience just wants you to be honest. They just want to, they want you to let them know. So like, I still do it. If I perform now, I've been performing for 6 years. If I do a punchline or I tell a gag or a joke and nobody laughs, I tell people, I was like, guys, when I wrote this joke at home, I was laughing to myself. Like, I laughed for myself, and I expected to tell you guys, and I expected some of you at least to fall off your chair, and then you were just like, no. But that honesty makes the audience understand that you're just human, you're just doing your thing. We all make mistakes. We all, nobody's perfect. And that once the audience sees that honesty from you, it brings them onto your side, and they want you to succeed. So it's a very interesting thing, because comedy is so, like, it's instantaneous. Everything else you do in life, you do your thing, you get your report at the end of the year to say how you've done. With comedy, when I finish my sentence, I know immediately, I get the report immediately to say, oh no, you failed. You failed because everyone's just sitting and looking. Like this, yeah, exactly. Then, you see? But that's the thing. So, ladies and gents, let's give a round of applause for Punch.
Thank you.
And keep your eyes out for this guy. He's going to be amazing. And he's also going to study something, because I've heard stories. We're going to talk. You got questions? Punch, come back. There's more questions for you. Oh, not for him, for me. Okay. Can I please perform? Yes, I can. Not now, but I can. Facebook page, Punch Gazella. Punch with the A. P-A-N-C-H G-A-S-E-L-A. Punch. Okay, so for the speakers, yes. Okay, so everything's going to be up here on the break. We're going to have a quick break now. This is an S, not a thing. And then, so we're going to have a quick break. There's some juice, there's some coffee at the back. Let's take a quick break. Can we give us a round of applause to all the speakers we've seen? Fantastic. And are you guys learning something? Is this you finding something? Just take, you don't have to remember everything everybody says. Find the moments that matter to you. Take the notes that matter to you. Things that hit you in the soul. When you hear something, if it does something to you internally, that's what you need to remember. Okay? Cool. We're having fun. Let's take a break. Thank you so much, ladies and gents. You don't have to remember everything everybody says. Find the moments that matter to you. Take the that matter to you. Things that hit you in the soul. When you hear something, if it does something to you internally, that's what you need to remember. Okay? Cool. We're having fun. Don't forget as well, we are still streaming live on YouTube. So make sure you put your best face forward and smile and make happy things. Don't let people see your nar face. Okay. We're still waiting for a few more people to come through. So, have you guys been able to interact with some of the speakers? Yes? You haven't interacted? Why not? What's your name, ma'am? Mpo. Mpo, why have you not interacted? Who are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? You don't want to ask questions? I know, I used to be that guy. I used to be that guy that just didn't ask questions and just went through. Sometimes I'm still that guy. But what I've learned is that it doesn't help. It doesn't help because you just sit there not knowing. We discussed it. So don't sit there not knowing, Mpo. I can see you want to do great things in your life. What do you want to be, Mpo? Teacher and businesswoman. I feel like you're going to open a school. That's the business side, and then you're going to teach at your own school. Are you going to be the principal? Okay. That's interesting. And what is it you like about teaching? Why do you want to be a teacher? You're good at business studies? Okay. You love it. You love it. You enjoy the idea of educating a young nation and just being a big part of somebody's life. That's fantastic. And that I believe that you can do it. So you've got to push, and then you must speak to people. When you have opportunities like this, ladies and gents, take advantage of these opportunities. These are opportunities that we were not all provided and we didn't all have all the time. So when you have the opportunity, take advantage and just embrace it, okay, Mpo? I expect you to ask all the questions all the time. Is that a deal? Yes, because you know that teachers have to answer a lot of questions. So now you must take the opportunity while you have time to ask the questions before you have to be the one that answers the questions. Are we back? Is the energy right? Are we ready to go? Yes? CJP? Westbury? Kari? RW Fick. Nice. Ladies and gents, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. And also, I just want to say, it made me so happy to go and look at what you guys have been putting up on that wall. I've seen some amazing things. Give yourselves a round of applause for just being involved and for taking the time and for actually learning and listening. This is something fantastic. I can be honest with you right now and tell you, if I was given an opportunity like this when I was your age, I would have been the bra outside having a cigarette, not learning a thing and not moving forward in life. You guys are fantastic, and I see greatness in each and every single one of you. I'm going to come do my hair. I'm going to come shave my head there by you, and then I'm going to fit sound by you, and you are going to teach my children. Yes. Can we do that? Yes? Fantastic. Let's move on, ladies and gents. The next person I'm bringing up is the Chief Operations Officer, the COO of the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. Okay, this is a division that provides non-financial and financial support to SMMEs, which is small to medium enterprise businesses. Okay, which is what you guys are looking at for your sound shop. It's going to be a small business, then global. I can see you're going to be global. What is your name? I didn't even ask. Enrico. Yeah, Enrico, that's an international name. You can, even in Cuba, you can fit sound. They in Enrico's Sound Engineering. So give it up. This person, ladies and gents, he's going to come and talk to you about the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, and I want you to show him the love, the respect, and give him all the applause. Ladies and gents, it's Mr. Lebani Manuleke.
Thank you very much, Nicholas. Thank you very much. Earlier on, we were doing some introductions, and I introduced myself to Shalane over there and to Nicholas, and he said to me he was going to tell a joke when I came on here, and he introduced me. Let's start. My name is Labani Maluleke. I've been listening to all the discussions really that have been going on here, guys, and I think it's fantastic. You know, there's an expression in English. They say born at the right time. And I think it's quite apt, very appropriate to start by saying that to you guys. The sky is the limit for you guys. Some of us did not quite have these kind of opportunities, but we pushed. We pushed and pushed and pushed. Back in the day, you could only be a teacher. You could be a doctor if you have, gray matter, or you could be a policeman. And at some point, I thought, wow, great career. I probably would be a policeman at some point. You get like a free car, ride in it, you go buy groceries in it, and all sorts of things. That was an ambition back then. But right now, I work for Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. I'm COO, basically running the operations. Before I tell you about Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, Punch, I think you've got a great road ahead. And from just what I was listening to, I could hear that you're going to go a long way. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't with initials like that? PG. I mean, like Pam Golding. I mean, the people with initials like that. Peter Gabriel. Praveen Gordon. Is there any PG at the Guptas? Atul, Varun, Rajesh. No, there isn't. So you're on the right track. You're on the right track. So what do we do at GEP, guys? We offer both financial and non-financial support to both SMMEs, small businesses, and cooperatives. And I've had some people talking about social entrepreneurship. By the way, I in my other life, I moonlight as a teacher, a lecturer. I teach social entrepreneurship and SMMEs at GIBS, the Gordon Institute of Business Science, Pretoria. So at GEP, what we seek to do mainly is, you will hear a lot of statistics when as you're growing up, you get told that most of the economies in the world are driven by small businesses. Fact. A lot of people, when we talk unemployment, you tend to find that a lot of people actually expect to wake up in the morning and go look for a job. But there's a whole lot of people also who wake up in the morning and do what they call vukuzenzele. Mendoza, the late Mendoza, may his soul rest in peace, he used to say, "Uzoyithola kanjani umekhoneni," right? So you have to get up and go. You have to wake up, get off your, and move on with it. It does not happen if you don't do it yourself. And the unfortunate thing is, you can't be sitting in the corner and complaining about that person and that guy and that guy being lucky, because you don't get lucky if you don't prepare for the opportunities that come along. So where luck meets opportunity, that's where you should be. You find yourself there, and it happens, and you move on with it. You come to GEP, you get there, you give me a brilliant idea, and you say, this is the idea that I have, and I want to get on with this, and I want to do this. Either as an individual, just by yourself, or maybe 5 of you, and you decide that, we're going to do this together. It's 5 of us. We're going to collaborate, do partnership, whatever. Nothing stops you guys from doing that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are too many opportunities, way too many opportunities to be wasted. I mean, you guys cannot. There is no excuse. If you can just, wherever you are now, sit down and say, we want to start this, and you start and you go to places like GEP, chances are you will get the 10,000 rand. But that's a start. A lot of people, speakers that have come up in front here have told you, including Nicholas, how they started. You bend your fingers, you pay the school fees, you carry on, you do it again, and then again. Maybe the 5th time, you come right. But the opportunities that you guys have now, they come with, it's not like, okay, go out and try it. They come with like a little kitty, They come with opportunities for money. You come to GEP, you tell us, and we're like, okay, fine. You are young. You're allowed to make the mistakes. Of course, we do. We're going to make sure that we try, we assess you, we qualify you. If you don't qualify, we're going to take you through the steps to get to the point where you can say, you right now, we can give you that 10,000 rand to try whatever it is that you would like to try. So that's what GEP does. What kind of businesses do we fund? It could be a startup. It could be a franchise. If you have the appetite, you want to start a KFC. But obviously, when you come to that kind of a point where you want to start a KFC, Chicken Lick in Nando's, whatever it is, Chicken Dust, I don't know if they have franchises for Chicken Dust. You're like, Michelle, you want to start a bakery? You want to buy that bread baking machine? You can come to GEP and we'll try and help you out with that. Let's just put aside this idea that, people who start businesses. That kid at school, the kid that sells sweets? Let's ditch this idea of saying, no, he's selling sweets because he's poor. Where I come from, people used to think, oh, that guy by the corner there, he's selling acho because he's poor, and that's low class kind of thing. It's not that. If you have a passion for it, go for it. My daughter is 15 years. She has a passion for business. She's already started. She makes cookies. She takes them to school, and she makes a load of money. And we get, where I work, we get paid on the 25th. So, around the 20th, I'm like that guy, by the 20th, it's terrible. So I go to her and, can you please be nice to daddy? And then she will give me 200 rand, loan me 200, and it comes back as 250 rand, and she's made another 50 rand from me. It works like that. That's how it works. So we do what we call franchise funding, startup businesses. We also do contract finance at GEP. What is contract finance? Contract finance is that uncle, who is a entrepreneur. I wouldn't advise you guys to look at that now, But a person will come to us and say, I've got a tender for 400,000 rand. I'd like to have 300,000 rand. And then we say, fine, sure. And we'll work with them and give them that 300,000 rand. And they bring it back with whatever the amount of money that we will charge them, interest. But we also have smaller funding opportunities, like you have what we call community fund. Community fund would be where you have people coming from the community working on a project. They come to us and they look for a loan or a small assistance of some kind, sponsorship, let's call it for now. We would give them that 9,000, 10,000. But you have to have a business that will qualify, a business that's sound, and something that makes sense based on the criteria that we apply as GEP. So guys, I'm encouraging you. If I had these kind of opportunities, when I started out back then, I probably would be very far now. Some of the businesses, by the way, that we see today, they were also given that opportunity back in the day when they started out. And they're now big businesses. And I'm talking about, your big corporations like your ShopRite Checkers. It was that, that little kid. I've been wearing glasses for a long time now. I used to be called a Ned growing up, and they'll be like, that Ned. So I was like one of those guys who tried it out. And today, I must say, sorry. Today, I must say that seeing Punch wearing glasses and a comedian, there's hope for some of us as well. So be that kid, be that child, who wants to be different. People will always say to you, people have tried this. You know, it's not going to work. Who knows? Maybe you, that person who's going to make it work. You know, if they're not cut out for it, maybe you are cut out for it. You know, and I've had speaker after speaker here today saying, do not listen to those people. Yes, I will tell you that. Do not listen to those people. It may be in business, it may be school. Where I come from, having grown up in Soweto, a whole lot of my friends used to be like, you know, I had my own backpack going to the library every afternoon. They're like, laughing at me, you know. But because I was determined, you know, I made it all the way to wherever I wanted to be, you know. But we're different. Maybe they wanted to do whatever, but I wanted to do what I'm doing. So I'm saying to you, if you have all these opportunities, you want to go to school, you want to do, you know, you want to go into business, go all the way. We all come with different gifts in our lives. But unfortunately, some people actually never get to open their own gifts. True story. So I just want to say to you guys today, I'm here. There's, I'm sure you will have contact details from Elias and Shailene. Go onto the website, look up for GEP. In fact, maybe Elias, you can organize another session at some point. But I'll only come on one condition, that I'm going to have someone say, or 2 or 3 people or 4 people at that session, someone stand up and say, I've started something, how do I move on? Just to start, just like, you know, I'm in now. How do I go? I don't want to hear, you know, I want to, I am thinking, today you can say that, but when we come back next time, I'm here now. What's the next step? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions, ladies and gents, for Mr. Lebane? One question.
Does this thing work? Yes. Here we go.
Good morning, Elias. I want to know, what is the criteria to applying for funds at GEP, and what documents do I need to submit to apply?
Good. Almost the same as what you would need to apply for a loan at the bank, but the difference is we don't use the bank's criteria. So we're not going to say to you, you know, give us collateral, show us your bank account, you know, how much you have in the bank, give us your mom, your auntie, your uncle's address, and your DNA. We're not going to ask for all those things. We're just going to ask for simple, basic things. And of course, you must be South African. And for GEP, you must come from Gauteng. So it's that simple. Even if you don't have any money in your bank, as long as you're South African, we tend to say often, one of the biggest criteria that we use is we are developmental. And that means that we overlook all of those things and say, how is this person going to make an impact in the community? You're going to employ one person? Great. You've created one job. 2 people, and then you show us that you're going to be growing, you know, going forward.
Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, I wanted to know if the GEP offers like financial support for schools. For example, our school, we're planning on having a market day. So will you guys be able to support us financially towards that market day?
Will GEP support you to have a market day financially? No. Will GEP support Mpho to open a school? Yeah.
So
that's
basically
the
what he said
opportunity.
is they'll support Mpokojans to open a school, but for market day, you must take notes from his daughter and then go and bake your own cupcakes at home and then charge your parents. Yeah. Okay, but it's so I think what we're trying to say is GP is focusing on established businesses or establishing a business that's going to be running into the future. So something like a market day that's a once off, unless you start a business and you just promote or you only work at school market days, then they can possibly look at that. Cool? Yes. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? One more over here from our hairdresser, Kersha. You must stand first. Stand, introduce yourself, and then ask the question.
Good morning. It's not. Good afternoon. You said that next time when we come, we should say what we want to do. Well, I do weekends like Saturdays, Sundays, maybe Friday afternoons. In a end of a month, I make over 500 rand. So where do I go next?
With what? Your hair business? You know what? I'm going to make you a star. Take my details and get in contact with GP.
Kesha, I just hope you remember all my haircuts are free. Nah? All my. Was there a question here? Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to ask with regards to I recently started a media agency company, a business media agency company, where we render services such as photography, videography, marketing, and advertising. So I wanted to know, because when you were talking about businesses, you were particularly speaking about things such as baking, starting businesses whereby you sell. So does GEP also cater for such businesses like the one I just started? Or, yeah, and then you can help me how I can also go about with it, because I just recently started. I have a business profile, but I don't know where to take it, what to do with it. So could you please help me with that as well?
Sure. As long as it's a business, we'll assist. And we can point you in the right direction. In fact, we can actually even offer you put you in some of the training programs that we do for business support. You know, like how to draft your business plan, how to do your marketing plan, how to look at market access. Maybe you might get a 2 million rand tender from Gauteng, who knows?
Quick question, Elias. I just want to find out, does GEP only cover profitable organizations, or do they assist with NPOs, NGOs?
NPOs, NGOs, cooperatives, alles. Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gents. He's got the answers for everything. He's got the money, the same money that we said nobody's going to give you. Here's the man that's going to give you the money. This is the man right here. Ladies and gents, let's give it a round of applause. Fantastic, Mr. Manuleke. Thank you so much. So that's how simple it is, ladies and gents. You ask a question and who knows where it could take you. Kesha, I honestly hope that you take full advantage of this opportunity and you can turn that 500 into 5,000 a week if you do things right. So take the opportunity, and then all of these people are going to be your best friend at the tuck shop. You must just be careful. Yeah, you see? Yeah. All right, perfect. So let's move on. We are slightly behind. Next, we're going to talk to one of our owners from Rung Clothing. Rung? Is it Rung? Rung? Yes. Okay, and that is Lebu Sekotu. Give them a round of applause. Lebu Sekotu from Rung Clothing. Give her a round of applause. Looking fantastic.
Thank you very, very much. Hi, everyone. I hope you are excited about today, because I'm equally excited, old as I am. The day is going pretty well. My name is Lebohang Sekutu, but you can call me Lebo. And I'm actually the owner and the founder of Nine Couture, the official distributor of the Rang clothing brand. And this brand actually comes from France. However, the story behind it is that the owner and the designer is a family member. So given the fact that it is in the family, it was a great opportunity that was lying there that I actually didn't know about it, by the way, until such time I traveled back to France and took my daughter for a holiday, and then was given the backpack when we were going to Disney. And that backpack was the product of Rang. I abused the product so much that I said, what's with this bag? There's something magical about it. And then I realized that Eric, the owner, is actually the owner of the brand. And I started researching about it and started giving him a lot of feedback and saying, wow, 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 I'm amazed. The quality, the quality. So what I'm basically trying to say is sometimes the opportunities are way within your own reach. They're within your family. And you pretty much maybe are blinded by quite a number of things. And you don't see the opportunity right there. And given the fact that this is somebody that is closely related to you, they will relax a lot of red tape. A majority of businesses or ideas that are actually sitting on paper that are not actually tangible and realized, it's because the red tape out there is huge. I have been given the topic to speak to you about franchising and the marketing, and I think it is appropriate because our business model is actually a simpler franchising. It's more a reseller, and that allows you the flexibility of accessing the market much more easier than the red tape and the long governance that you guys are supposed to actually follow when you want to start a franchise model. And just maybe as an icebreaker, can I ask one of you, anybody that can answer, what is the common denominator of every speaker or the business owners that have stood here? What is the common denominator that they've shared? Anybody? I actually have a prize for a person that can answer this. Good. Now everybody wants to answer. How's that? Yes, ma'am.
Perseverance and always be determined to do what you want to do.
That is good, but there's something I'm looking for. There's a common denominator that every business owner experiences. Failure. Fantastic. You got it. You got it. So we've got a T-shirt for you, so you can go claim your T-shirt after this when we're done. Because failure is actually part of the journey. You've got to be prepared for it. I have not woken up and been given the opportunity to drive Rang because I did not go through failure. During my journey, I'm not going to share my CV because it's pretty big. I had to go through the corporate world as well in order to build myself up, gain knowledge, gain experience, and maybe fail in somebody else's, resources before I could actually create my own venture. And I've been through travel and tourism as a business. I've become a tour operator. And I had big ideas. But the problem is I had not done the research. So research is absolutely imperative. You cannot wake up and say, I want to start this business before you do the research. So it's imperative that you understand the insights. You go spend time with people that own that type of a business and immerse yourself in that type of an experience. So if travel is actually your passion, make sure that you work within the travel industry. You become part and parcel offering and you experience it. You travel, you make it part of your life. Because once you start implementing that business, it is your life. So it's your, it's your heartbeat. You wake up, you think the business. You sleep, you think the business. So everything around you, your kids will begin to speak about the business. My daughter is turning 10 this year. By the way, she lives and, she's wrong. At school, she's even selling. They've got the iPads. So when during their playtime, when they've got an opportunity to access the internet, she actually shows people the website. So she even knows how to access it at that age. So she's beginning to be a brand ambassador for the business. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the reality of the story. But coming back to our model of the business, as a reseller, you have to standardize the offering. So we could not start creating our own brand here in South Africa and try to sort of replicate the brand. So what you see there around our environment is that the posters are all generated from France. So anybody that is actually a reseller for Rang will have the same marketing material. So you cannot necessarily deviate. But however, seeing that we're in Africa, we then are given an opportunity to then customize. So when you visit our Instagram account, you'll see local content, meaning we will have our customers that come to a store that we then actually post, pictures to show that we are real. We are here in Africa and we are operating here and making transactions in our local environment. And then the other aspect, we also have people like brand ambassadors, as bloggers, as DJs, hip-hop artists. I actually just, with GP here, I just strike, informal relationship to say, well, we can brand you. So that type of a thing we are allowed to do. We're given that opportunity as well. Because you've got to create your local content and be relevant in the environment you're working in. Having said that, you are also given a territory. Okay, what do I mean by that? If this is a global company and it's based in Germany, like ours is based in France, you are then given a region. So when I negotiated, I guess I was thinking a little bit too small. I said, Eric, well, we will be, in Joburg and maybe, the rest of South Africa. And he said, no, why don't you just take the entire Africa? So, wow, amazing. So here we are. We've been given a daunting opportunity, okay? But what we then need to do and be realistic is to start here at home. Make it work within our environment so that when we import it to the rest of the continent, we choose, of course. You can't go everywhere, big bang, because that also goes with the funding. So maybe we will be strategic and choose Nigeria. Or we choose, Namibia or Botswana, or just one area so that we can start, imploding it in different areas so that it can then grow. So what I want to also share with you is that brand creation as well, no matter how it could be popular in France, it is a journey if you are introducing it in a region where it has never been introduced. So we started off last year already. So we actually, by end of May, beginning of June, will be a year. And so we're still very young, like you. So starting off, it wasn't all glamorous. It was hard work. Hard work. And next time, I think I want to share with you about supply chain logistics management challenges because we're importing. So I guess I will pose a challenge to Elias, Charlene, Lee, to perhaps, we could have more master classes on specific topics. And I would like to share the experiences because, I think with this journey, I've got loads of practical challenges that I had to overcome to even just bring a first shipment into the country. And guess what? A big multinational like DHL was actually a stumbling block. But I didn't let that actually deter us. I actually wrote a letter to the MD, who he personally wrote back to me and apologizing. And today, my shipment is efficient. It gets picked up today, tomorrow is delivered. That is a great success story that I want to share with you. Perhaps let me also share with you about funding. You know, formal franchising models, you go through rigorous. And I think Tate Elias could share more with you about that, because you've got to have, if you want the likes of McDonald's, you know, K.Y.C, goodness gracious, it's laborious. You know, your finances, they've got to be in order, your assets, liabilities. You know, you've got to have lawyers, you've got to have all that, those people behind you. And that is costly. So once you want to get there, it's not that you may not get there, but some of you may have family members. Maybe if you're Mabonya's child, you can pretty much maybe go for it, you know. But if you've got an uncle that has a big bank balance and, you know, there's money there, that would be a brilliant, you know, way to go. And it would also help us to have young people and local people owning those franchises in the locations, as opposed to bringing a McDonald's that is perhaps owned by somebody coming out of that environment. So we should actually try to change our economies and let it go to that regard. So essentially, the funding of a reseller is very much easier, because from my side, I've had to fund it from my many years of saving. So when I started working, I was not as flashy as all my friends. You know, I remember I was a young assistant manager, 24, and my colleagues used to drive BMs and all that. And guess what? I was driving a Chico. And they were very surprised to say, but why can't you drive such a, you know, beautiful car? Because you can afford it. So I started building my asset base, you know, so in terms of property and all that, as young as that. So my first property was when I was 24. So it can be done. Today I have a fairly okayish, you know, not that big, but fairly okayish, you know, a cushion to begin something. But that doesn't mean I cannot maybe approach Tate Elias for funding, which perhaps now is the time, because we've got a visibility and we're there. We've got a store in Maboneng. You know, you can come and actually, you know, visit our store and see the feel and experience our product. So funding becomes a challenge. So if you're not as disciplined, it's going to be a challenge, the road ahead. Because even if the bankers were to give you money, you will not be able to manage it. So the discipline around financing is very, very important. Let me come to the aspects of support that franchising model gives you. They've got well-tested systems. You know, if you want to plug into their point of sales, and if they're managing you directly, they want to know how much you're making every single day. And what are you doing with that money? You're banking it. So the systems are very rigorous, and you get checked in terms of what are you doing with the entire flow of your daily operations. But we're not in that model. So basically, I'm being entrusted with the discipline of managing the business, but I need to give feedback as to how we're doing, what are the challenges that we're experiencing, and any help we need directly from France, then it gets extended to us. So we are now being assisted from a visibility point of view with the marketing, that they will market us globally so that people that travel to South Africa can find us. So we are even selling to international customers here that come and visit South Africa, and they come to our store. And a lot of them we ask, how did you hear about our business? And they say, over the internet. And I came specifically here for your store. So that is the shared opportunity or the shared cost of being part of a franchising model. We are lucky that this is partly being still taken care of by the mother company. So they have not necessarily asked us to contribute, which is something that they are assisting us from to get there. So, but I think once we start posting profits, they may actually ask us to come to the party. The other element I think that is important is your ability to handle your brand reputation. That for me, I think is very important. If you own and you're being given the role or responsibility of managing a brand at a global level, boy, you can't sleep, because every single mistake can actually make or break you. So it's a reputation management. As much as I give youngsters an opportunity to play with a brand, but they've got to play responsibly, because at the end of the day, I'm still accountable to the owners of the brand. So you cannot be reckless when you come and say, I want to actually start a blogging page and whatever. Can I use your brand? So those are some of the opportunities we give the youngsters. But then you cannot become reckless with it. You've got to be committed to it. You've got to deliver on it, because somebody else could have used that opportunity. Okay? And your customer service needs to be equally aligned with the one in Paris. So if somebody were to go to a Paris store, they've got about 4 stores, one in Paris, one in Lille, in the outskirts of Paris, and one in Châtelet, and the other one, I can't remember where it is, but I think it's in the south of France. And if somebody walks in at the Maboneng store, they have to have the same service and experience if they walk into the Paris store. So that's also another important element, so that the experience as well is absolutely standardized, and to keep the brand alive and its reputation. So I think I will leave it there. I tried to be as practical as possible, but as you can see, there's loads of other experiences I would have shared with you, but we will definitely commit when we are invited again for master classes. I will give a list and topics that I can share, which are practical to help you with actually sort of maneuvering when you actually start your own journey. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lebo. Before we get into questions, I just wanted to find out, where was the guy that was interested in TV? Who's the guy that was interested? There was someone, I think it was from that table over there. Gregory, was it you? Was he the guy? Was he the guy? Are you interested in TV, Gregory? Take this opportunity now. You have an opportunity now, because we are live streaming on YouTube. You can now stand up from your seat, make your way over here to the sound box, and you can assist in the streaming. So come and join us. Give Gregory a round of applause. Come and learn some things, and then you must give me discounts when I want to produce my TV show one day. Remember who gave you this opportunity, where we were. Just remember. So, ladies and gents, let's give Lebo another round of applause. That was fantastic. I think the one question that I have for you, Lebo, is how do you get involved? Like, where does it start? How did you know about Rang Clothing? Because I think I probably speak for most of us here who've never heard of it before. How did you get involved, and what made you believe that bringing Rang Clothing here was going to work for you?
Okay. Thank you for that question. I think I did allude to it earlier, but perhaps let me re-emphasize. I mentioned that I traveled to Europe and in Paris in particular. My cousin has actually relocated there since the mid-80s, so I have always been visiting and frequenting. And as I actually visit every country, I look out, I'm very inquisitive, my eyes are always roving, so I look out for, ideas. So you cannot, an idea won't come to you, you're going to have to go and find it. So I've always known that Eric was actually in the design space, but I did not know that he had actually evolved to actually have created a brand of this nature. So it was within the family, and I was actually interested in another brand, which it's called K.Y.C. It's actually a footwear. So I was working on bringing that brand to the country. And then it's mentioning to the family that this is what my plans are. And then they said, but Eric also has a brand which you need to, look at. So within the family and your networks, your family is also an important network where you can check if there's opportunities that you can tap on. And by being given the product, unfortunately our bags were sold out at Renshow. We could have brought them here. So the bag was actually a selling point for me because I used it, I abused it, and it still survived. And I thought, wow, there's something in this particular brand. And that's when I started researching it, asking the owner about the brand, and that's then when I believed in it. And the quality is the reason why I'm confident that it's going to work in South Africa.
Awesome, thank you. Do we have any other questions? Anyone else? Fashionistas? Okay, you take this one, let me take that one. And then also, I just want to say, it comes back down to belief, and it comes back down to just taking the opportunities that you were presented with. Like Gregory, see?
Ms. Lebu, my name is Nkoloti, and what I'd like to know is that I know owning clothing campaign, you go through many fluctuations. So what I'd like to know is what makes Rang stand out from Mr. Price, all those other shops that you could ever think of? And what's the advice you would give to me as a person who has already also started her own clothing campaign?
Okay, that's a very, very, very important one and quite complex. Yes, if you look at Rang, we actually say we are actually an aspirational brand, because you've also got to do your market segmentation. And if you are to, for example, compare us to the Mr. Price is at the bottom. And Rang is actually one of your premium brands, okay? And you can actually experience, touch, feel the quality. You'll see that it is indeed a premium brand. In the European context, it is the competitor of your Supreme Being and many other more brands, okay, that are streetwear but at a fairly, aspirational level. The other important aspect is if you position yourself very appropriately, the money that you put behind the branding is also very key, okay? So our branding, you'll see that it will not necessarily be compared to your Mr. Price, because the Mr. Price, it's a brand that you go, maybe they want you to come in more frequently, okay, because of the quality. But our quality is lifelong. All right, it's a product that you will perhaps hand it over. So because of that, and even the pricing is also very different. So I guess the work that you do with your branding, your brand ambassadors, and I encourage you to also look at rang.fr, which is the French one, and it exposes you to the type of even celebrities that they use for the brand and so forth, which then tells you as well about the brand positioning. I'm not sure if I've answered that. Okay.
Nice. What is your label called? What are you going to call your label? Vindicated. I like that. I like that. Are you focusing on ladies wear, men's wear? Is it a mix? Is it what's your both? Okay, and you're doing designs yourself? Okay, we must chat later. Okay, cool. Any other questions for Lebo, ladies and gents? Let's give her a round of applause. Lebo from Run Clothing. Okay, we've got one more statement to make from Rang.
Hello, everyone, again. I won't take much of your time. So I think Ms. Lebu has been speaking about our product and where it all started and everything else. So because we love you so much today, we're going to run a competition just for today. If you can come to our stall maybe after or during, are we going to still have breaks? No.
We're going to be done.
Yeah.
After,
If you can come after everything and come tell us what you know about our brand, come show us that you're following, liking us on Facebook, you stand a chance of winning yourself a t-shirt as well. So I'd suggest that start Googling. Good students were taking notes, right? So good students know that they're taking the t-shirt. So yeah, that's the competition we're basically doing right now. So yeah, come after to our store if you think you are ranked up.
Yes, give them a round of applause. The next speaker I'm going to be bringing up is somebody that excited me. When I looked at the program, the title is From Passion to Business. And that is something that's so vitally important in our world. It made me very excited. So also somebody that does motivational speaking, founder of Destined to Shine and a social entrepreneur. Ladies and gents, let's put our hands together for Nomvula Shabangu. Thank you. Give her a round of applause.
Okay. By the way, I am branded, and I can safely say it is quality, guys. So, yeah. So yeah, I have my backpack on for a reason. Just to show you guys that you can never say it starts when I'm 21 or I'll do it immediately after high school or whatever. No, it starts now. So my name is Nomvula Shabangu. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm a professional speaker focusing on motivational talks, and I also have an NPO called Design to Shine. So my journey began back in high school. I went to Southview High, a local school in Lineage South. So I was very passionate about touching lives, inspiring and motivating. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm still in school. This is what I want to do. So I had to now focus on my academics for that time and think of ways as to how will I now channel my passion as soon as I'm done with high school. So just like you guys, I was involved in talks like these. And I used to take down notes. And I always knew that one day my time will come, and it did come. So after high school, I then started my company. I started doing talks. I was first recognized when I was 19. And today, I am adopted and supported by the Deputy President of South Africa. I was also adopted and still supported by Shalane, which is the reason why I am here today. And I believe I stand here because I decided to protect my vision. So I held close to my vision from high school, and I protected it. So after high school, my parents thought that they didn't know much about motivational speaking and all of that. So they wanted me to go into a proper profession, which is why I then went on to study financial accounting. So as soon as I was done, I was like, okay, now it's me time. It's time for me to do what I want. So currently I'm studying communications at UNISA, and I also do my talks. I also have a company called Designed to Shine. It's made out of a group of about 10 girls. So what the company is about is that we look to inspire, empower, and motivate young women of this generation and generations to come. So basically, we engage in debates, seminars, workshops, and social events that support women empowerment. So I can go on and on and on. I've grown ever since, and when Nick was speaking earlier, he was talking about how you need to have a driver's license before you can even imagine as to how you can even own a car. So that's how it started with me. I remember I did my passport back in, I think, a year after I matriculated. And I didn't know that I was going to be traveling. I mean, hello, I didn't. So, and I can say that as I'm speaking today, I recently finalized my documents for traveling. I'll be going to the United States. And this all started from believing that I can and I will. And despite my background or my current situation, I always believed that I can and it's possible and that I will. So that's pretty much how I got to where I am today. And guys, I can tell you that sometimes we look at each other as young people and you think, she's probably from a cheesy background, she probably has it all. That's not true. That's not how it always was or still is. I can tell you this, whether you go to school and get a degree or whatever it is that you decide to pursue, information is everything. Information can make you the richest person today with or without a degree, with or without the best job. So information. So I took advantage of information from the moment I was still in high school, sitting where you guys are sitting right now. I took advantage of information. I started Googling people who can now assist me to now pursue my dreams and my passion. So I started Googling, I started getting in touch with people whom I knew could at least now try and assist me as to getting to where I want to go to. So there's a person I keep very close to my heart, and I read his books. He's Miles Monroe. And he says that, thank you. So Miles Monroe say that as soon as when you find your vision, this is the beauty of vision. When you now have sat down with yourself, just like Tebogo said, having your quiet space where there's not a friend, there's not a mother, there's not a sister, there's no one, it's just you. That's where you get to now think of your vision, think of where you want to go and what you want to be. And when that comes and you tap into that space where you now know what you are destined to be because of this purpose that lies inside of you, Miles Monroe says that once you found your vision, the beauty of finding your vision is that it now directs you as to what to engage in and what to avoid in order to be what you need to be, in order to become what you want to become. So the sooner you discover your purpose in life and the sooner you discover your vision in life, that's when you'll be directed as to who to hang around with and who not to hang around with, who to talk to about your vision and who not to talk to about your vision. Because some people pretty much don't care. Like, you want to be a doctor, I'm not interested. I have nothing to do with people who probably want to go into that space. I pretty much don't care. So it directs you as to who to talk to and who not to talk to. So that's the beauty of finding your vision at a very young age, or your purpose rather, at a very young age. So that's what happened to me. So today I own a company called Designed to Shine. I'm a professional speaker. I go to companies. As young as I am, 21, I motivate CEOs. And I don't stay somewhere in Sandton, guys. I stay in Soweto, by the way. So I motivate CEOs who go out of the room after the session and go into their comfortable car, and I go to the taxis. So I'm kidding. My dad gives me rides. But yeah, I go to the taxi. So it's not about where you're from or where you are. It's about where you want to go. And what do you do to get there? And what do you channel to get there? You know? So my advice for today would be take advantage of information that surrounds you. Because we are in a generation where information is everywhere. You can come from a home where parents don't work, but if you expose yourself to information, guys, the sky is not even the limit, you know? So information is everything. I plead with you guys that you start sitting down with yourselves, finding that purpose and that passion or whatever, and start talking to the relevant people, start talking to the right people. It's called networking, you know, where you now socialize and go to the people relevant that are going to guide this vision and help you protect this vision. Because if you don't protect this vision, chances are by the time you get to my age, 21, you'll be everywhere. You know, people are studying accounting, you're going, you're studying accounting. People are studying economics, you're going, you're studying economics. You just need to figure out what you want and make sure that you protect that idea. So it all starts with a purpose and passion. And again, I'm going to touch my favorite speaker, Robert K.Y.C. Because Nick said at some point he's working enough to survive. A job, according to Robert K.Y.C, is just over broke. He says that a lot, you know. And I'm not discouraging people going down that route, but what I'm saying is make sure that wherever or whatever field you end up in, it's something you are passionate about. That when you are just over broke, you know that you just over broke, but you love what you're doing. So purpose and passion and love is everything. And it doesn't start when you're 21. It doesn't start when you finish your degree. It starts now. What do you want to be? What do you want to become? And I guess that's it from me, guys. I'm open for questions.
Any questions? Hello? Have we got questions? Motivational speaking? Yeah? No? You got a question? Why are you raising your hand like this? Who's going to see you when you raise your hand like this? Don't be shy. Stand up.
Numvulo. Hello, everyone. Numvulo, I just want to ask you, who motivated you to become the good lady that you are today?
My background motivated me. Just like I said, I don't come from a very cushioned background, meaning I always looked at my surroundings and I was reminded that I don't want to end there. That's not it for me. So my surroundings, where I come from, the home that I come from, motivated the lady that I am today. I believed that I can, I will, and hence I began at a very young age. So for me, nothing stopped me. And what motivated me being here? My surroundings. I didn't have to watch TV to be like, I want to be like her. I was in a home where things were not so cushioned. And I was like, I don't want to end up here. You know, I want to get out of the situation. I know there's more to life than this. So that's where it all began for me.
Nice. Gravy? Okay. See, now he just wants to be involved in everything.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to Kofifi for being here. And I just have a question for you. In a way, at school, whenever there's events that's happening, and the teachers, especially the principal, will come to me and ask me to come and speak to the children about something in it. So that's what I basically do, like a motivational speaker. So if I want to maybe move forward in it, you know, how do I do that? Because it's something that I wouldn't mind doing, you know, because I just like to give people advices and motivate them in any way.
Okay.
I think that's a great question, because like for me as well, I'm also very interested in motivational speaking, but it's also something that I've done one motivational speech. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever had to do in my life. No, just seriously, because like I do comedy, I can perform to 5,000 people. Simple, easy, I know what's gonna make 5,000 people laugh. But motivation is a very different thing. It's a very individual thing. So the thing that scared me the most was there's no guarantee that I can motivate everybody in the room. So yes, back to Gregory's question, how do you get into it? What do you have, what advice do you have for him?
Okay. So obviously I did say that when you're interested in something or you found whatever field you want to go into, research is very important. So you need to research about that field that you want to go into, be it speaking, motivating. And as soon as you've done your research, part of your research needs to include the people, the relevant people you need to now connect yourself with in order to get there. So there's a lot of people available that you can now contact with regards to how do you tap into that field, how do you grow in that field. So we all have Google. Make use of it, get your information from there, and once you have it from there, there's people there who are willing to assist you.
Cool. And now you know Nomvula, so you can come direct to the source. All right, so ladies and gents, let's give Nomvula a round of applause. Fantastic. We're going to move on now. I'm going to call on somebody, one of our producers or one of our vendors here, MJ from MJ Productions, to just come and give us a brief overview of their business, how they started, where they're going, what they're doing, and why you should be involved. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Melise, but I tell everyone to call me MJ. It's just simpler, you remember. It was MJ Productions. We're actually restructuring the business, so we're moving from MJ Productions to MJ Media Group. We are that on Instagram, that on Facebook. I said to Elias, I'll just give a 5-minute brief of how I even started doing this. So I'm a photographer by profession. And when I say by profession, I actually am self-taught. I never studied photography. It was never actually even on the cards. So I am what you would call, I fall under the percentage of children who went down the wrong path. When I was in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. You know, I know I wanted to be out there somewhere in front of people doing something, but I didn't know what it was. Question, how many of you do actually know what you want to do when you finish school? How many of you are unsure? That's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm going to tell you why. I finished school, fell pregnant at 19, married the man who I fell pregnant with, been with him for 10 years. But because I had a baby, and another one, and another 2 after that, yeah, I have a lot of kids. I still wasn't sure about what I wanted to do with my life, but life forced me to find a job in the worst possible place for me to find a job. I'm a creative. So I ended up working for the bank for 10 years, pushing paper. And I wasn't doing the most glamorous job. I mean, I was doing admin. It's like the worst job. For someone like me to be able to do for 10 years, I was dying every minute of every day. But I didn't have a choice. I needed to feed myself, feed my family, and my kids, you know, needed to go to school. So I stayed there for 10 years, didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to still move on, do something fantastic with my life, but I just couldn't figure it out. And then we got sponsored with a photo shoot for, you know, these family photo shoots you get when you have a baby, and it was so excited. And we drove to Pretoria, did the photo shoot, and I had a t-shirt on that was revealing things that I didn't need showing everywhere. And I said to this lady, after the shoot, when she showed me the pictures, can you edit these little lines and all of this half-naked stuff out? And she's like, no, don't worry, I'll do it. We got the pictures back. She edited nothing out. So subsequently, I cannot use the pictures. But what it did do, it interested me in why photography works the way that it does, how photography works, and the editing process. And that's what actually got me started in photography. I lived on Google. I was lucky enough to have a job where my boss said to me, you know what, if you're bored, which was 90% of the time, you can play on Google. So I did that. I researched myself half to death, literally, and learned everything I possibly could about photography. I bought myself a small little digital camera and played around with it and was advertising it on Facebook. People weren't liking it because it was really crappy. But it took a very long time to get from where I was 7 years ago to where I am now. My photography back then was, guys, I can't even explain it to you. It was shameful. But I met a lot of people throughout the years who are photographers, who I speak to, who I ask all the time, what do you do? How do you do this? Show me this. Teach me Photoshop. I got free programs from so many different people and some of the people don't even know how to use the programs. Like Photoshop is a very difficult program to use. I've had to self-teach myself the way I had to self-teach myself photography. So lucky enough, I got to a point where last year I was able to resign from my job, thank God, and do photography full time. And here I'm thinking, this is going to be fabulous. This big dream is going to happen. I'm going to be the best photographer there is out there. Mind you, I hadn't decided what type of photography I was going to go into yet. And things are just going to be great. You know, I'm going to be doing fashion brands. I'm going to be all over the place, traveling the world. And then that didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because I knew a lot about photography, but I knew nothing about my business. I knew nothing about how to market my business. I knew nothing about who to talk to. I knew nothing. I mean, I was literally just thinking I'm going to go out with my camera, take pictures, and it's going to make me money. It doesn't work that way. You have to learn about business. But here's the glitch. I have a family now. I can't just go and study. The money's not there. I have to generate funds to feed my family. So subsequently, I ended up attending a lot of workshops. A lot of workshops. My goodness, the things that I learned. But it's taught me so much about the processes that need to be in place to run a business. I'm not there yet. I'm still getting there. Every day is a new learning experience. And that is the one thing you have to always think about. Even if you don't know what you want to do now, learn something that you know you love to do. And then learn the processes that get you there. And then learn the processes behind it. Everything around that. I mean, running a business can be anything like, sorry, I'm going to use you again, hairdressing. You need to know how to manage your finances. We don't get taught that at school. You think you get taught it until you have to run a business, and then you find next month you're broke. Then you have to feed yourself somehow. Hustling is not fun. But it needs to happen, and it's a learning curve. Every failure we've had this far, and it's been a lot, has been a learning curve for me. And I'm so grateful that I was saying to my husband, you know, every time I shoot now, my photography's gotten better. And the reason why is because I keep learning. I'm friends now with photographers who make lots of money in South Africa, trying to get myself to a point where I'm meeting international photographers. I might not be traveling doing photography as much as I'd like, but the communication and the conversations that I can have with those people are helping me move forward. And eventually I'm going to be where I want to be. So that is just my encouragement to you today. You don't have to know what you want to do, but learn everything you possibly can. As we heard today, Google is our friend. Trust me, it's my friend. It's my best friend. So we are MJ Media Group. We do photography for all sorts of events. So if you have a banquet this year, holla. We're around the corner. No, then come do a lifestyle shoot. We have a studio. So we're just in Newlands. We have a studio there. You can check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. We've been posting a lot of stuff there lately. But yeah, I think I'm a fun photographer, so come visit me.
Thank you so much, MJ. Any questions for MJ? Do we have questions? Photography questions? Anybody? Photos, flashes, aperture, f-stop? No, neither do I. Don't worry. I'm just saying things I know I've heard in photography. Okay. Yes, who's the spokesperson?
Good afternoon. We wanted to ask, where in Newlands are you situated?
Okay, we're in Newlands. It's fine.
I'm going to put a big sign up there for y'all. But you know Esperanza School? The next street is Newlands Road. Right at the bottom of Newlands Road. So we're in Newlands Road. But the address is on the Facebook page. We're pretty active on Facebook. So if you need to send me a message, you can send me there. It comes directly through to me and then I respond to it.
Thank you so much. Let's give another round of applause for MJ. So we've got one more speaker, but I can feel the energy in the room's a little bit low. So I'm going to ask everyone to stand up. Let's just do a young stretch. Just get some, because I know the bums are getting a little bit sore now. You know, you've been sitting all this time. Just get up, have a young stretch, put your arms up, stretch out wide, touch the person next to you on the shoulder, not somewhere sensitive. Just, you know, let's just, yeah, are we ready? Have a nice stretch. Look how tired you guys are. Hey? Young bodies, so tired. Are we ready? Are we ready? I think we're good. Do you think we need another round of tennis? Must we do another round of tennis to get the energy up? Okay. Okay, let's do a round of tennis. Take your seats. Take your seats. Let's do some tennis. Then I'm going to bring on the last speaker for the day. Then we've got a raffle and then the closing. All right? So, Venus, you served last time. Let's go with Serena. Serena, you guys are going to start the serve. Are we ready? What's the sound? Let me hear the sound first. Yes. Either side? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go! Give me this one. Okay, cool. So, last speaker, this is a business lawyer. So this is somebody that's very important if you want to run a business, because if you put the wrong product on someone's hair and then she goes to the banquet with the plescope, they might send a lawyer to you, so you need to have a business lawyer. So this is someone to give us some inspirational messages and how to just be safe and healthy in your business. Ladies and gents, put your hands together, make some noise. It's Bafana Ntuli.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, but I don't think I'm really that important. I think we're all important people, you know. Give a clap, make a clap, yeah. I'd like to firstly thank KofifiTV for inviting me to come and just say a few words. And, you know, it was when I was told that, you know, I need to come and speak, it was very hard for me to decide what I was going to speak about. Because I am not a motivational speaker, or I don't do this very often. But when I do speak, it's sort of like I try to speak from the heart and what I have learned as I have been growing up. So one of the things that I've realized as I was listening to everybody else was that I'm really overbroke, like Nombole was saying. So I might have to change some things to make sure that I get away from that position. To give you a brief background about myself, I'm like they said, I'm Bafana Ntuli, and I grew up actually very close here in Davidsonville. I actually went to CJB, that's my high school right there. So representing. And when I finished high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do literally. I was very confused, and there were a lot of personal things that were happening. And I decided to take a gap year in 2007. So I started studying in 2008. I studied law, so it was a 5-year degree, a BA-LLB degree. And, you know, after the 5 years, then you have 2 years of training. And while you are training, you have other 4 board exams, national exams, that you have to write. So it's a very long, drawn procedure. And that's why you have to make sure that eventually when you get there, you really enjoy what you're doing. That's why you would have instances whereby people would study law, but they wouldn't necessarily become lawyers afterwards. So they would study law and go into business or go into any other thing. Because for you to carry it through, it takes a lot of hard work and commitment. In terms of what I do, so I'm a commercial corporate lawyer. And to sort of explain in simple terms is I'm involved in transactions where if a company wants to buy another company, or if we're talking about brand protection, your intellectual property, that's the space I'm involved in. We don't necessarily deal a lot with startups, but if you're an established business and you need a commercial contract or a corporate contract, that would be my wheelhouse. And the law is very broad, you know, very broad. So as much as I practice in business, but any other given Saturday evening, you know, I would get a call, hey, Bafana, I'm in jail, bro, what must I do? Or, you know, I've been arrested by traffic officer for speeding, what should I do? And I will try to help. So the job is, I'm very passionate about what I do because it's corporate orientated. as opposed to, as I said, the law is very broad. So you'd have people who are commercial lawyers who deal with businesses, and then you'd also have your advocates. These are people who appear in court, and they argue on behalf of clients, and they talk to the judge. So if I had a client who had a dispute with another company or with another person, they first have to come to me, and then I will try and resolve whatever is going on. If it can't be resolved, then I would appoint an advocate, and then the advocate appears in court on behalf of my client. So that's how the law works. The advocate cannot have their own, they cannot have their own clients directly. They have to come through me. So essentially, that's the kind of work that I do, and it's a very tough job. Clients are very demanding. So, they say you have your working hours 8 to 5. I don't have that. I can be in the office at 7 and then leave at 10. And, get back in the following day at 6 in the morning. So it always depends on what the business needs of the clients are. And so that's literally it. And when I spoke to Elias about really what he wanted me to speak to you guys about, he asked me to just touch a bit on my personal story and where I come from. So it's very easy, I think, like Nombola said, to assume that when you see people at certain levels in their lives, you would assume that they are coming from a very cushy background or they've had all the support that they need. For me, it was very different. So, as I said, I grew up in Davidsonville, and by the time I was in matric, both of my parents had passed away. So, things could have turned either way, because there you are, you have no parents, you have no income, you have no support, you have your friends, right? And growing up in a township, you don't have a lot of role models to sort of say, oh, these are the people who are my friends. My friends had similar backgrounds. So it was there then I had to make a decision, right? And the decision was, whatever I don't have, I would have to live without. Because that's one of the things that kills us the most from moving forward or from even fighting. Not to say that it was easy, but we are always thinking that, since I don't have the support that parents could provide, I can't do anything else. Since I don't have brothers and small sisters, I can't do this, I can't do that. So I had to make a decision to say that I have to be enough for myself, and whatever I have, that's enough for me to do what I need to do. And that began the journey for me, whereby then I made the conscious decision, then I had to fight hard. And one of the lessons that I have learned and that I see even today is that, we need to be patient. I think that's one of the most important virtues, especially for young people. You need to be patient, up and above hard work. Because I can see today it's so easy to get caught up in the hype with Instagram, with Facebook and the celebrities. We want things to happen now, and we want things to happen very nicely. I had to be very patient with buying my first car. I had to be very patient with buying my first house. I had to be very patient with everything that I have, because it becomes a journey. And every time I would speak to young people, and they would be like, oh yeah, I've been working for 2 months, but it's so frustrating. And I'd be like, but why? Oh well, I still can't afford a Golf GTI. And then I'd be like, you're kidding me. Because you need to allow yourself the time to grow. You need to allow yourself the time to go through the process. And the only thing that all of you have that I will never have in my life is time. I'm looking at you guys, and then they told me that you guys are in matric. You guys look so young. By the time we were in matric, we were like oppas. Like it was so different. You guys, you're so young, and with that time that you have, you can literally start from wherever you are and build straight up. And I'm not going to stand here and say it's easy and anybody can do it. The reality becomes that you have to start with what you have. Life is unfair. And quite frankly, I'm a realist, so I tell you like it is. Life is unfair and nobody owes you anything. Nobody. So you have to start, you have to say, what do I have and what can I do or what can I use with what I have. If I have to get on a taxi, get on a taxi. If you have to, I grew up I laugh today. It was very funny. I grew up, it was a shack. I grew up in a shack. And when it was winter, whenever I had to study, in a shack, when it's cold, you're cold. When it's hot, you're hot. You can't control the temperature. And then whenever I had to study, I literally had to wrap so many blankets. And I had to, when the electricity is not there, get the candles going and so forth. But the reality was, I had to do what I had to do. And that's why today, it became such a wonderful thing to appreciate. When after working so hard, after working for about 5 years, I was able to contact somebody and say, I'm ready to buy my first house. Because it never came easy, right? And it was never easy. I faced the same pressures that you face. I faced the same pressures of, you're a lawyer, so what kind of car do you drive? Oh, you're a lawyer, so what kind of label do you have? Oh, you're a lawyer, what kind of friends you keep. It's very important for you guys to know who you are. And then once you know who you are, make peace with where you are and the fact that what you have now is enough. That's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. If you can't make peace with what you have, that's why you end up having situations whereby you're going after things and you have to sell yourself, you have to sell your soul, you have to sell your peace. At the end of the day, you're unhappy. Life is unfair, but that's it. That's how reality works, right? But the question is, as much as life is unfair, I'm going to have a vision for my life. I'm going to have a purpose for my life. And if it means me being the only one in my own family, starting from scratch, having to build this thing from the bottom up, then that it is. Because then what's the alternative? The alternative then is you simply disappearing into obscurity. Or the decision is, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to live the kind of life that I want to live. So my encouragement to you today really is that foremost, it's patience. Have patience and work towards your dream. Don't be caught up. It's very easy to get caught up with social media and what people your age are doing and what they have and what you don't have. That never works. You have to look at what you have and decide that whatever I have is what I will use to move forward and get my own life that I will be proud of. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Fantastic. Do we have any questions for Bafana? Any legal eagles? There's one. Okay, there's two. I'm going to come back to you.
Hi again. I'm a fourth year LLB student at UJ, so I have 3 questions. First of all, I'm very interested in media law as well. I first want to ask, what routes did you take? Did you take the intellectual property route? I heard you speak of intellectual property. And then my second question is, as someone who is already in the corporate world, would you advise me to do my master's next year or serve articles? And then my last question is, what company do you work for? And can I have a job? And do you guys have bursaries? Do you do vacational work? And do you also serve articles as well? Yes.
Okay. On your first question, I always say that if you're still studying, you shouldn't get too caught up on what kind of specialization you want to do once you graduate. Because the way it works is that, as you may be aware, during your university years, you do all kinds of subjects. So once you have done all those subjects, you have 2 options once you graduate. It's either you want to be an attorney or an advocate. You're saying that you want to be an attorney. When you get into that level, then you say, okay, fine. Do I want to be a commercial attorney or do I want to be a litigation attorney? You're saying that, well, I want to be a commercial attorney. Once you start doing your articles in a commercial law firm, you're going to get exposed to all kinds of different departments. So your banking and finance, your intellectual property, your minerals and resources, your measures and acquisitions. So it's quite broad. So when you do your articles, you will be rotating in all these departments. Then that's where then you can decide that, okay, fine. After I have done my 2 years of articles, this is the kind of lawyer that I want to do. I want to be, rather, and this is kind of the law that I want to practice. So don't get too sort of caught up on that, oh, geez, if I can't decide now what I want to do exactly, I'm doomed. You have more than enough time. And then on the second question was masters or articles. I think for me, it's neither here or there, because I'm currently doing my masters, but I'm doing it part-time. I think economic need also plays a role, because once I graduated and I happened to have a bursary, the situation was I need to start earning and I need to start supporting myself. So having to spare off another year of doing my master's full-time wouldn't have worked for me. But I would have done it if I had the necessary support and I didn't have to worry about this, and that. So, if you can do it now, fantastic, do it. If you can't do it now, you can always do it later on once you have the necessary support, depending on what your situation is. And then the third one was on which law firm. I work for a law firm called Worksman's Attorneys. It's just one of the law firms in South Africa.
It's not just one of the law firms.
Right. Was there another question? Oh, okay.
Good day, Mr. Bafana.
Call me Bafana. Not Mr. yet.
My question is, why law and not anything else? Like, what was the drive behind you wanting to study law?
I think, actually, to be honest with you, me studying law was very accidental. I never sort of grew up saying that I want to study law and to become a lawyer. What happened was, so as I mentioned, so in my matric year, after my parents passed away, I was literally despondent. I did not give a care in the world about what I was going to do or become. Like, university was the last thing on my mind, I just wanted to let be and be. It just happened that I found myself at the right places most of the time, and people who became mentors to me were able to say, okay, fine, let's see your matric results. Let's see what you achieved. Let's see what's possible, what's not possible. And then based on that, that's why I was like, well, it's either I'm going to choose law or I'm going to choose accounting. And then I just chose law. And as I started working, it just happened to be something that I'm enjoying very much. So that's how I came into law. It was never sort of like something I was like, when I was 6, I want to become a lawyer. Not at all.
Okay. Hi, Bafana. Hello. I'd like to ask a question. I think it will help us, even young people. How do you protect an idea? For an example, maybe I'll make an example about her as well.
Yes.
She has this idea of opening a salon, maybe probably a different one. Like, we have exclusives and stuff. So maybe hers, it's different. How do you protect your idea? Maybe I tell a friend, hi, friend, I have this idea, so and so and so and so. And then all of a sudden, my friend opens the very same business that I was telling her about.
Yes.
So how can maybe I go about getting shares in that company, maybe because it was my idea after all? That's totally my question.
That's a very interesting question. I think, there's a two way of looking at it. One is, it speaks to me when I'm listening to you. One, it speaks to the relationships that you have, right? So, like, even in my field, it's very important for you to have relationships with the right people, because that's how you get your business. But moreover, it's also important for you to have relationships, personal relationships, with people who add value in your life and people that you can trust. And that's why you can't, So, at the personal level, you can't go around telling people your vision, your dreams, because not everybody is there to support you. That's the reality of it. And you have to make sure that whoever you tell, it's a person you trust. And in order for you to trust a person, it's going to take, once again, time and patience. So, that's one way of looking at it as a lesson as well, to say that whatever I want to do with my life, or whatever I want to achieve, I can't tell this to everybody. When you look at it from a legal point of view, there's little that you can ever do, because at the end of the day, push comes to shove. You told me about your idea, and then I took that idea and I started a business, and now it's a R1 million business. I don't know whether some of you guys are aware of the Vodacom SMS case, right? At the end of the day, so you're up there and I'm successful, and you're like, no, but that's my idea. You're going to have to sue me, And then once you sue me, when we are in court, it's going to be a she said, he said. Because at the end of the day, the judge is, everybody has their own truth. In fact, not truth, there's only one truth, but everybody has their own opinion as to the truth. So at the end of the day, the judge is going to have to believe whose version of events is much more probable. And, and it becomes very expensive. So it's just that lesson that you can patent a trademark, you can't really protect a copyright unless you can show that you have been using it for a specific period of time. So it's just the issue of you need to be careful around the kind of people you're having conversations with about your business ideas.
Hi, Bafana. I actually just wanted you to share a little bit more with the students. I wish at Matric, I was told that almost every single transaction that I will ever get involved in, I would need a lawyer. Because including like a lease, you wanting to rent a townhouse, and that sometimes certain small clauses are not in your favor. And even now, as old as I am, buying a holiday sort of membership for 10 years, I actually stumbled in like a year later, I had to take an attorney to renegotiate or to protect me. So not only do you need a lawyer when you walk your journey in the business, but even on your personal level. And to such an extent that now I'm actually saying every single contract that I'm signing, it has to have the heads up of my lawyer before I even put a signature. And I think that's quite an important lesson for the youngsters walking the journey.
Yeah, it's a very nice observation. I think probably like there's a two of looking at it. And one would say that it's maybe then, as you say, maybe that's why then I'm important to some people. It's good to have a friend who's a lawyer. Because then you are able, if you do find yourself that you have to make a decision and you need to consult somebody, you can say, hey, hey, Buff, what's up, what you doing? And then if I do have the time, I'll try and assist. That's the one benefit. The other side of looking at it is that, as you say, it also becomes a very expensive affair. So, the rate that I charge an hour, I can't afford myself. So if I were to walk out of here and be saying that I'm going to look for a lawyer at my level to assist me, I wouldn't be able to afford him or her. So then it becomes sort of like a value judgment to say, okay, fine, I need to sign this lease agreement for a cottage, right? If I go to a lawyer, they incent him. Just for sitting down and having coffee with me, it's already $2,000 for an hour. That's what they charge. So it's like, well, and like CNA has these leases and whatnot. So it's sort of like a value judgment to say that, given what is it that I'm actually needing a lawyer for, and if I have to really then do approach a lawyer to advise, how much are they going to cost me? Other than that, it's sort of like saying, let me find a friend who's a lawyer who will look at it for free when he has time. So that's sort of like how you can weigh it. Otherwise, there's no other way of doing it. Yeah.
Perfect. I think you've answered everything.
One more.
Okay, one more. Okay, we're running very, very far behind schedule, and the speakers are going to be around. We're going to have some lunch now, so you can chat to them as well afterwards. So let's do one more question, and then we'll chat.
Okay, hi Bafana. My question to you. My question to you is that, as I want to be a lawyer, but then I'm not sure which lawyer I want to be. So, which subjects do I need, and how much my APS score will be?
I mean, as to the score that's needed for you to get entrance, probably will depend on the university. So whether you're going to UP, to UJ, to Wits, or wherever, so you would have to find out from them. But as far as, I think, like I said in the first question that was asked, when it comes to deciding what kind of law you want to do, take your time. You have enough time. You're going to probably spend 4 to 5 years at university. You're going to be doing all law subjects under the sun. Only then, once you graduate and then you start doing articles, you'll have better understanding, because it's very easy for me to say, oh, I want to be a criminal lawyer, right? But then by the time you graduate, you realize that, and it's very ironic, but you realize that South African criminals don't have money. So, in essence, you'll be wasting your time. So it's like, give yourself time to study and to work. You'll have more than enough time to decide what kind of specialty you want to end up in. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Bafana a round of applause. All right, I'm going to welcome Shalane back to the stage. That's it for the speakers. Can we have a round of applause for all the speakers we saw today?
Is this on? Did you guys have fun? Yeah. And who other than me is hungry? Yes, okay. So we're almost to food. We're gonna do one quick fun thing, then we're gonna say our thank yous, and then we're gonna get to eat. So Nicholas mentioned a raffle, and I hope everyone in the front here who had tickets, did you put your ticket in this bag when you came in? Oh, I'm impressed.
These are only for the students, guys, because I see the faces. Yeah.
I'm impressed that everyone followed directions. Okay, cool. So Nicholas is going to announce some of the prizes that he's sponsoring on behalf of Goliath.
Okay.
Can you tell us about those prizes?
Yes.
Cool.
Cool. So, just by show of hands, how many of you are 17 turning 18 or older than 18 already? 17 turning 18. Okay. What I'm going to do for you guys, because I was originally just going to make it a lunch. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put on the raffle 2 tickets to the Goliath Comedy Club. Okay. I will give you a 500 Rand meal and drinks voucher. And I'll give you 2 Goliath and Goliath t-shirts.
How does that sound?
Does that sound good?
I see people dancing in the front here. So how many people are we looking for? Do you want to do 6, or 2 people getting everything? How many names am I drawing?
Oh, no, just one name.
One name?
Just one.
Oh,
one person's going to win. Because they're going to,
Okay.
the person that you're going to bring,
You're
you
gonna
want to
bring
do?
someone.
Yeah, you're going to bring
You're gonna
someone
get
because
2
you don't want to
tickets.
come alone.
Okay, so one person is going to get 2 tickets, 2 meal vouchers, and 2 t-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
One person.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to draw the name?
You're saying it's so wrong, but when I pull your name out, then you're going to be like, yeah, it's all mine. Yeah. So, I think you do the draw, because I'm doing the
Then
thing.
people are going to be upset with me if I don't pull the name.
Yeah, rather you than me. Don't look.
Okay, but I'm going to let you read it then.
All right.
Okay.
And our lucky winner has a bad handwriting. Good luck on your matric exams from class 12B. Ashlyn Spud Spool. Ashlyn, where's Ashlyn? Come on up, Ashlyn. Look excited, Ashlyn.
Okay, so you're going to come up and the guys actually want to get a photo of you. If you want to take a photo with Ashlyn.
Cool. Where do you want to do it?
Do you want to say something? No. What did you learn today?
entrepreneurial skills. And
So maybe the
Let's step
easy
forward.
thing is, what would your answer be to this question here? What is entrepreneurship?
someone that starts their own business from scratch.
Nice.
Yes.
That works. Come take a picture
Cool.
with me, Ashlyn.
Okay.
Where are we? Are we here? Congratulations. So, what you need to do, you're going to give your details to Shalane, and then we'll make contact, and then we can exchange, and you can get your prize, and then, yes.
Okay. Yay, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
we'll
come
do
and
it.
see me afterwards. I'll come and find you and I'll get your details. Okay. So we've come to the end. I'm going to hand over to Elias, but I just want to say thank you. Can everyone please give Nicholas a round of applause? Thank you so much. Did you have fun? Okay. Thanks.
You guys are amazing. Go and be amazing in the world. Go and be amazing and tell people it happened here, it started here, and that's why you're amazing when you are amazing.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Give it up again for Nick. All right, guys, we are all hungry, so I'm not going to be long. All I want to say is thank you. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Thank you for taking the time, making the choice to be here. And like Nick said, I wish you all success. And, for the next one to come, we are going to Soweto. So I hope that you guys who have not been in Soweto will be there, journeying towards it. Next time, we'll have transport for everyone. We'll have transport for everyone. All right, we'll have transport for everyone. And just thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to our lovely guest speakers there. Can you just give them a round of applause? Yeah. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to Kofifi FM. Thank you to our leaders, our bosses for giving us this platform and giving us, I don't want to say leash, but giving us, the blessing to come and do this. Because it takes courage yet again, to allow anyone to take your brand and go and do anything that they please with it. But I want to thank them for entrusting us to taking their brand out here and doing what we are doing today. So thank you very much to all of you guys. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to our leaders. Thank you to the communities that responded. Thank you to the principals that, said yes and yebo to everyone. I liked the principal of CJB. He was very fanatic about everything, and, he even said he needed more tickets. Maria said I didn't see him today, but maybe he was in and out. But thank you very much to all of you guys. Hope that you go Monday with much enthusiasm back to school and have yourself a lovely day. And we're going to have some music, have some food. But the order that we're going to do, just for respect, we're going to allow our guests first to go and have something there at the back to dish up their food. And then afterwards, we're going to start from Corey, Westbury, RW Fick, and then CJB, and then all of us can go and have a feast there at the back. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.